The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are 17 priorities for peace and prosperity. All United Nations member states have agreed to work together, which gives us a shared focus.
As a UN agency contributing to all 17 goals, one of the most important ones is Sustainable Development Goal number 4 for education for all, which UNESCO is also leading.
Through the Wild Frontiers Foundation, which we set up 14 years ago to raise money to feed into projects, we have built a school in a very remote part of northern Pakistan called Baligon, which didn't have a school before. We have got the teachers and now teamed up with the government, and we have, I think, 107 kids at that school at the moment. It's a primary school that then feeds people to the secondary school further down the valley, and that brings education to a part of the world where there really was none before.
The UN Sustainable Development Goal that we pay most attention to is the one around sustainable consumption and production. We run a catered chalet company, and each week we serve our guests a set menu. We've seen that if we can reduce the amount of meat on the dish, we can have a significant reduction of the carbon emissions associated with the food we serve, and we can show off local produce whilst also reducing the impact on the environment.
African Parks is a non-profit conservation organisation, and we assume responsibility for the rehabilitation and long-term management of protected areas. So when we talk about the UN SDGs, we look at it in the context of well-managed protected areas, and well-managed protected areas address 15 of the 17 SDGs. So there are a number of them that are covered. If we look at how that intersects with tourism as well, there are various goals such as reduction in poverty. In many instances, we are the largest employer in a region, whether that's from a tourism perspective and a protected area management perspective or just protected area management.
As far as conservation is concerned, we do quite a lot of projects around the world, particularly in Africa, based around wildlife and sustainability as well. So these are the main areas we focus on.
I am a travel editor, travel writer, and I also work with DarkSky International, which is the international association dedicated to protecting dark skies. Dark sky work touches on SDGs ranging from SDG 3, which is good health and well-being for people, light pollution affects people's health, to 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. Obviously, light pollution is a form of pollutant. It's also a form of carbon emissions. So cutting our light pollution also cuts our carbon emissions.
Good health and well-being. We invest in hospitals and medical care for many of the communities where we operate.
Through the foundation, we have done a number of other things, such as clean water. Water is obviously such a key part of helping people in the developing world to live better lives. Clean water means better health, it means longer lives.
Tourism actually, if used in a mindful way, can be a force for good. It can really help the growth and development of different countries. And in this case, I would say like how the tour operator can step in is by creating itineraries which take in a lot of these local elements which are reflective of their culture, their history, their traditions, environment, ecosystem, everything, put together, because it's a complete package.